Hello, everybody. Hi there. It is Thursday, April 6th, and tomorrow is my second daughter, my dear Katie, her birthday, and she was born in 1981, so you do the math. And for some reason, I felt like I can't tell her age, but I can tell you that I had the doctors say, "Can we have some interns come in for the delivery?" And I'm like, "Sure, the more the merrier. Let's party." And when she was born at 10 pounds, and born by prearranged cesarean section because I had tried the whole labor thing before and it didn't work. So we had like 15 people in the room and they're doing the C-section, and she was born. When they pulled her out, she started screaming. She was so mad because it was cold, it was bright, there was noise and people, and I know what she was thinking. I had everything I needed right where I was, and y'all go yanking me out. So I thought that was cute. In fact, everybody in the room just started laughing. And luckily, she got a perfect APGAR because she was very well oxygenated after hollering like that. So it was so funny. And she had a head full of hair. She was so furry. I called her Magilla Gorilla for a while because she was just so cute and just red-faced. And right then I knew I'm in trouble now. But I tell you what, even though she is a fierce human being, you know she's there, you know she's got opinions that she'll share, and she's fiercely loyal, fiercely loving, and a total joy. So it was so funny. Yeah, because back then when I had my cesareans, you're awake, but you just can't feel. You can feel tugging, but you can't feel any pain. But oh my gosh, she was so funny. So, and I remember when she was about 6 weeks old, we lost her pacifier, could not find it anywhere. And it was a Playtex pacifier back when they were kind of like a dark skin color. They were ugly pacifiers, but that's the only one she would take. And we lost it. I went around to every store, frantic, for 2 days looking. When I finally found one, she was like, "Nope, I don't want it anymore now." So it was 2 days worth of crying, and she was miserable. And then when I finally found it, she goes, "Never mind." She was a handful and has been such a joy in this life. She's the one that does the lambs and the goat. In fact, I'm hoping her goat, Ida, has not been feeling well lately. So she did a bunch more worming because some of the worms are getting kind of resistant to medication. And I think she said yesterday she fed her some strawberries just to see maybe strawberries will make her eat. And she ate some clover and some strawberries. So cross your fingers because she's getting up there a little bit. She's 12 years old. But anyway, that's my Katie. She's the one that I teasingly call the farm girl, even though she works for the state of Maryland as soil conservation, which is very important. On farms, farmers can lose so much soil with runoff for the rain. But anyway, so I just wanted to give a shout out to my Katie girl. And so then it feels dark in here, and I'm not sure why. I don't know, but we had a storm come through. Luckily, the worst of it, the tornado warning was southeast of us, but we had some rain let loose, let me tell you. But anyway, I was a couple minutes late getting back in, What did I do with my phone? Oh, it's in my pocket. Let me see if I can bring these pictures up from my phone, because the sky was so beautiful after the rain. And okay, let's see. Oh, here they are. Okay, I'll bring them up. And you know what? The camera can't capture the true beauty. Sadly, it can't. But let me see if I can bring it up on the phone. But I saw the sky and I thought, I've got to go on. But all that sky's so pretty. And, when I see something beautiful, I love sharing it with you. Okay, go to photos, go to gallery. Oh, there it is. Okay, here is, well, let me make it, whoa, I don't know if I can make it bigger, but look at, whoops, hold on. I tried to open my phone to do it, but it was in front of the picture. But look, oh, there you go. I can turn it sideways. But that sky was so beautiful and clear after the rain. Let me get another one. So, whoops, there we go. But it was just so pretty. And I thought, oh, I would love to share this with y'all. So, let me tell you about this week. My gluteus maximus, my muscles, since I looked up what to do and being careful since I only have the one kidney left now, I've taken just one Advil per day, but it's working. And I was able to stand up straight today, and I'm real tickled. So I'm doing stretching exercises and taking oh yeah, I want to see how everybody else. I forgot these storms just keep moving through. But Katie's birthday is tomorrow and April 7th. So, and often, she's had birthdays on Easter. But anyway, I have been working since Monday on the quilt for the show, finding all these little threads, knowing, well, I've got a little extra time. Some of the little quilting, like the little balls along the supposed border of the quilt, is supposed to be a picture frame, and so they were looking like little round balls. Some of those looked really bad, so I put it back on and kind of went over it. And then, there's one thing I must tell you. When you're doing an art quilt and you're doing thread painting and all of that art quilt, because first you put it on muslin, then you build up layers, then you put batting and backing. Make sure you put extra support for your border, or your inner border, your outer border. Because I realized I was reading a book about art quilts and how do you enter them in a show. And the thing they were talking about was that you need your borders to be as sturdy and thick as the inside of the quilt, the body of the quilt. By the time I do all that thread painting and all, it's almost like tapestry. It feels like tapestry. And so what I did, since I had some open areas, I didn't want to pull out all of my quilt stitching, but I took and inserted some buckram. And buckram is interfacing that's really thick. And I inserted in between the quilting designs on that outer border, and then closed it back up. And because what it means is when you go to hang it, if your border is not as sturdy and rigid as the interior, it won't hang as pretty. And one thing I worried about when you do thread painting and trapunto kind of effects, it can make the quilt not want to lay flat. Okay. So at the end of all of this, I took the quilt, laid it face down, and put heavy starch on the back. Now, up to this point, we hadn't starched it because anytime you're going to use ink tints, paints, pencils, or any kind of painting technique, you don't want any starch or anything on the fabric. You want those dyes to be absorbed into the fabric. But what I did is I put it pretty side down because I didn't want to iron it flat. Then I would lose the three-dimension effect of the trees and the rocks. But I needed it to to not want to buckle, okay? So I laid it face down, and if you want, it's good to lay a cotton cloth, piece of fabric or muslin, down first on the ironing surface, then lay the quilt face down. Then I put heavy starch on the back, let it soak in. Remember, don't iron immediately after spraying starch on it, or you'll get the white flakies. So we didn't want that. No quilt dandruff for a quilt show. But I let it sink in. Then I took my nice hot cotton iron and I ironed over the back to just kind of say, lay mostly flat. Not all flat, but lay mostly flat. Then you don't touch it. After you iron it, you let it lay there. Let it completely cool. If you pick it right back up, then the fabric won't have made that new memory. Since fabric is a woven, it's more like a living thing. You know, you can create with it. You can move it and stretch it and curve it because it's woven. Well, when you iron it, you want those individual fabrics to shrink back up. So you need to let it lay flat until the piece is cool. So then, and I've got some pictures I'll show you Sunday of how I packaged it. I got bubble wrap because I would have liked to have just rolled it and put it in a tube and send it, but they don't really want the tubes or oblong boxes because they're too hard to be shipped and handled. So it would cost more. And so I picked out a box that I did have to fold it. So I said, what can I do to keep it from stretching out? So I laid bubble wrap and bubble little packaging on the quilt, flipped it once, put more bubble wrap, flipped it again. Nice square, 1/4 the normal size. Put it inside a giant hefty bag, sealed it really good, but did not push it, did not crush it or smash it to get it in the box. I put a little bit of brown paper just to keep it from jiggling too much. But Mark said, well, shouldn't we stuff some more paper in there? I said, no, if you stuff the paper in there, then it's going to smash the quilt. You don't want that quilt sitting in that box compressed because when they pull it out, then it's going to have creases on it. So it was just trying to get it just enough so it kind of says something. And then just put enough paper to keep it from flip-flopping around. And I had to follow the instructions on the sheet. And they had quite a few instructions, like, you know, don't use any styrofoam or peanuts, packing peanuts or anything like that. That makes sense. That stuff gets everywhere. And it would be really bad if it got on the show quilts. So I used just the bubble wrap thing, you know, the plastic stuff. They said put it in a sturdy plastic bag because they want to make sure that if somehow that box gets wet, your quilt is not ruined. And then I had to put a 4-inch hanging sleeve on the back. So what I did is I cut out a 10-inch by the width of the quilt plus an inch piece of matching fabric, the same fabric I used for the backing. And then I sewed it in half and I hemmed in each end, made a tube out of it, then turned it so the seam was in the back and pressed it, and then carefully slip stitched it onto the back of the quilt starting at the top, and then kind of folded the quilt down and slip stitched where it comes 4 inches down. And then I'm so excited. I was reading about labels because I tried to make some labels, and it is so hard for me to write neatly and small. I'm a big girl and everything about me is big. But so I read, use the printable fabric that comes on paper backing and print your label. They said it looks very professional. And if you can't do, I would prefer to do a machine embroidered label, but I printed it. I even put a little picture of the quilt itself on it and put all my information. And I also put how I made it, that it was a collage quilt and the steps, basic steps, just made a little label and I put that on there. So if you're thinking about labels, and if you hate doing labels as much as I do, but you want to and you should, think about printing a label. And then you just take, and you can even press it while the paper is on there to get a nice crisp edge. Then pull the paper off, cut off the excess, and then carefully, with as much a hidden stitch as you can, stitch that on. So that was is Mary's birthday coming? Oh my gosh, is Meltem awake? Oh, I love how y'all become friends, Meltem and Mary. Oh, wow. You are currently fasting in Ramadan. Ah, good job. Good job. Wow. So we have a Muslim member. I'm so tickled. We run the gamut here, from me, who's not a believer, to Christian, to Jewish, to Muslim. I love it. There's room for everybody at this table, at Our Time to Quilt's table. So welcome. I'm sorry you have to fast. But I know it's supposed to make you more appreciative, more respectful, all of that. So I do understand that. Oh, this is great. I love it. So, yeah, I guess you can't eat during the daytime. But anyway, wow. Okay. Mary's birthday is the 15th of April. Oh, that's wonderful, sweetheart. Okay. And I went to the dentist yesterday. But getting back to how to package the quilt, because some of y'all have so much talent. I would love to see you enter, Jody. Anyway, one of the things they want you to do is take the label, to return shipping label, and carefully tape it or pin it to the outer plastic bag, because that's the first thing they take off. And they said, if you can fold your quilt so your label on the quilt shows, that's always a good thing too. So these people, I can't imagine the number of quilts they deal with. And I wanted to send them some of my gifts, my quilt necklaces or something. And then I thought, maybe they'll think I'm trying to bribe them, which I wouldn't. I'm just so grateful that they do this and give us a chance. So anyway, I put over 20 hours between Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I put over 20 hours in that quilt to finish it. And I finally had to say, stop. I can't make it perfect. I wouldn't know how to begin to make anything perfect. I can just make it with plenty of love and send it on its way. And I love it no matter if a judge loves it or not. So I finally had to say, stop. Get it ready, send it. And I tell you, the last thing I did was take that roller brush. I've got it right here. If you ever enter a quilt, make sure the last thing you do before you put it in the plastic bag is roller it to death. Get any lint, pet fur, anything off that. So, I've got pictures to show you how I packed it, the whole thing. So I finally got it to the post office this morning. I wanted to take it Tuesday, but it was, oh my gosh, Tuesday, I worked on it starting at 8 a.m. until 2 a.m. And you'd think, what all was there to do? but it's just finding little threads and little things, it is just amazing what you can find when you really look close. So I wanted to tell you this too, because this is exciting. I got the picture for that quilt off of, what is it called? Oh, I will think of the name of it by Sunday. But it's a site that people can put their photographs up on, and you can join the site, which I did, and you can either pay to download some or you can use the ones that are free. And it said that you could use them without giving any a credit to the person who did it, so you don't have to get permission and all of that. But I was so grateful to the person that took that photo. And it does look a lot like the photo. I added quite a few things, but it really does look like that. So guess what? I went back on that site, and I will find the name of it. I went back on that site and looked up that photo. I had to find it again. And it gave the name. Sven was the name of the photographer, and he's from Germany. And it says on there, would you like to buy Sven a cup of coffee? And so I thought, yeah, it's kind of like a PayPal donation or whatever. So I made him a $5 donation and thanked him for his beautiful work and told him I'm a retired woman from USA, and I made a quilt using his photograph as an inspiration. And I said, I made several changes, but I just wanted to thank you. It got accepted into a show. So he writes me back, because I gave him my email address. So he writes me back and says, thank you for the donation. And yes, he can't imagine a quilt out of his picture. He said he would very much like to see it, but thank you. So I sent him my picture because I wanted him to see who was using his work. And then I sent him a picture of the quilt. So I'm hoping to hear back from him. That was over a week ago. I haven't heard back from him. But I just thought I would tell you what fun it was to get in touch with the person who gave me that inspiration and to thank them and let them know what I had done with it. So that's pretty exciting. So, I got makeup on my shirt. Oh, well. Yesterday I went to the dentist and I'd put on a pretty nice shirt. I don't always stand still when I brush my teeth. I'm always in I'm in a hurry, I looked down when I got to the dentist and I had drips of toothpaste down my shirt. I had noticed in the mirror my shirt looked like I got little sprinkle wet on it. Well, I was, rinsed my mouth out. So I thought that's what it was. Well, as soon as it dried, there was the toothpaste. So my dental hygienist told the dentist, she goes, I do that all the time. I'm walking around, look down, got toothpaste all. But my teeth are good. That's all good. So I'm glad that's over with. But boy, I'm exhausted tonight. It's like I've had that quilt on my mind or in my hands for so long. And I admire people who do this very frequently and who are, the ones who enter their quilts, and they're amazing. And they make them knowing, I want to enter this in a contest. I admire them because I find it very stressful. Exciting, but stressful. So I looked up, and the quilt show, it's going to be in Greenville, South Carolina, April 22nd through 25th. So I thought it was just 2.5 hours of drive. It's going to be 3.5 hours of drive. So my daughter said before I knew, she goes, well, I'll ride up with you on a Saturday and we'll go see it. And we thought at 2.5 hours, we could drive up and drive back. What, 3.5 hours? As old as I am, I'm thinking now of going up Thursday and coming back Friday. I would love Mark to go with me, but he has got some important things at work. It's not a good time for him to take off. And I don't want to wait all the way until Saturday. So anyway, woo, I tell you what, guys, it is busy, busy, busy lately. And tomorrow I'm going to go pick up my sewing machine from the repair shop. I'm hoping it's fixed. If not, it's a lemon and I'll have to figure it out. But anyway, oh gosh, falling down. Isn't that awful? Oh, you sweetie. What I'm going to do is I'll probably take snapshots of the show. I'm afraid to take a video because I'm sorry, I am no good at editing. But I know that if I take enough snapshots, I can come back and show you like I did last weekend. So I hope you won't mind that I'll do that. But hi, Barbara Smith. In fact, let me even see who's here. Broke your leg dusting? Oh, a steel plate. Oh, that's right. I remember. Poor Dolores. Your husband set you up in the living room, and oh my gosh, she couldn't put any weight on it at all for such a long time. Hi, Becky Bradley. So anyway, but my to make a long story short, got to wrap this up. I get talking and watch out. But my quilt is now on the way to Mancuso and to their offices. And hopefully in a couple weeks, I'm going to go see it. So I'm really tickled. It takes a lot. It's a dedication. Those people, I'm trying to think of their names and I can't right now, but you know who I'm talking about. They make the most amazing quilts. I have deep respect for them. And maybe 20 years ago, I could have thought about doing it more, but now I'm just tickled. I'm just thrilled. So, and I did take a picture. The last picture that I took of it before I packed it in the box. So I will show you that and let you see. Mark said the quilt looks good, but I don't know about the legs on it. And I'll show you what that is. Okay. Here it is. This is the last photo I took of it. And I'll show you a photo of the back of it. You can see my label, and then the hanging sleeve is at the top. And then here is a close-up. Whoops, no, don't do that. I'm waiting for it to turn back around. Don't turn on me. I want it to be, oh, come on. There we go. Oh! I'm not good with electronics. So anyway, but I'll have them downloaded from the phone and show you. So I'm going to come see all who's here. Finally, after almost half an hour. Let's see. Wow, Lisa was the first person here again. Hi, Lisa. And Marcia and Diana's here, that sweet thing. And this is great. Polly. Mary's here. Oh, it's so good to see all of you. Oh, somebody's kitty had a problem. Oh, she's all right though. Thank good. ER vet. Oh gosh, then she was sick. I hate when I have to go to the ER with an animal. Denise is here. Happy Easter almost. And I've got to finish my Pasanki egg so I can show you. Oh, Denise was a 10-pound baby too. Yes, my children were 9.5 pounds, 10 pounds. And then the next one was 10 pounds. My son was a preemie. He was 8 pounds, 4 ounces. And he was premature. His lungs wouldn't even open. He had to have a neonatologist. And then he gained a pound a week for 6 weeks. So he would have been my 10.5 pounder. Oh, goodness. Aw. Okay, let's see who else. I hope I didn't miss anybody. I'm so happy to see Denise. Y'all don't know. Hi, Cheryl Hogan. I love your daughter's name is Carrie. Um, I love hearing you talk about your children too. But I was going to tell y'all that you don't realize, you might think, well, I'm just somebody that watches. I love seeing your names pop up. I get so excited. So I can't believe Melton is here. What a dear heart. So, this is one. Betty Middleton is here. So I love when I go back and watch after they let you bring up the chat. I love going back and seeing what you have been writing. I try not to miss it. So, this is wonderful. In fact, aren't Jewish people, I believe, are having Passover. So, good luck to and best wishes to all of our Jewish friends. So, this is wonderful. Yeah, I was sending my baby off, and Mark was like, how can you keep finding stuff? And I said, I'm just seeing it. Under a tornado watch. Be careful. So anyway, oh no, you fell off your sewing chair and injured your tailbone. Don't you hate it? And you know what? It's like me with my glutamus maximus making my sciatica hurt because it's pinching it. It's like, please, and it takes forever to get better. Oh, I love how Lisa knows so much about Meltum's language. I would love to be able to speak to everyone. But all of you make me so happy. You couldn't get off the floor for an hour. I was talking to the dental hygienist yesterday, and her mother thought that there was another step left or something, somehow coming down the stairs. She only fell down one stair, but she didn't realize. And when when you think you have another one and your foot hits that jolting, she fell, she broke her leg. She's got to have a plate put in it. And she had to crawl out of the house, and it was the grandmother's house, crawl out of the house, crawl into her car, and drive herself to the hospital. I can't imagine. So, poor woman. So I told her I'm going to be thinking about her. Oh, let's see. A man is walking around playing drums to wake people up. Oh my gosh, that is so cute. Barbara Smith is here. And Becca Bradley, welcome, hon. Welcome. So, I'm so tickled to see everyone. Mark was 5 pounds, 5 ounces too when he was born. He said it was like a little sack of flour. And, oh my gosh, Dolores' sister had an 11-pound baby. Wow, unbelievable. Denise, you're so cute. So let me put in here real quickly, because I want to show you the beach quilt. Okay, I'm trying very hard. I'm trying to use my rollerball mouse. It's already helping with my hand strain. So Our Time to Quilt. Whoops. And if you don't see Carol, don't worry. She was having to find another house and move. So I'll write an email to see how she's doing. But Our Time to Quilt. Whoops, no, that's not quilt. Wally, Our Time to Wally? What? Our Time to... Oh, Deb, what is wrong? I told you I'm tired. No, not quilty. Our Time to Quilt at TWC. No, why are my hands all off? TWC.com. That is pathetic. I used to really be a good typist. That was years ago. But anyway, so 3 o'clock, Melton. Oh, isn't she a dear heart? We love all of our members. We love all of you. So anyway, but we kept my granddog Polly the last couple days, and I told my daughter I finally had to fuss at Polly because Polly and I just adore each other, and but she kept wanting to bark, so I raised my voice to her. She went over and laid by the front door like, I want my mom to come get me now. It was like, whoa, thank goodness she can't talk because I'll tell you what, she'd say, Mom, Nana yelled at me. But she went home today and Becky came over and we had time to talk and she was watching me work on the quilt. So let me bring this over and let's see what we're doing. I ate something that made me for lunch that made me so thirsty. So, I've got the kind of thirst that makes you want to jump into the glass of water. All right, let me bring you over here. And I think I saw Laura is here. Oh, poodles are very sensitive and smart as you can imagine. And I told her this morning, I said, your mama's coming. She got so excited. She started doing little crying and just saying, your mama's coming today. That's all she needed to know. She was ready. It was so cute. She loves my daughter, Becky. So, and I'm so glad because it's so nice to have a dog who is your best friend. Okay. Now, so when Becky was here, I was doing all this water stuff. And let me get out some of my colors. Hold on. When I sit here just by myself, I just work willy-nilly everywhere. So now these, whoops, watch where your glue goes. So what this is, what we've got now is this. It's going to go here. The sky starts very light blue, and then will get darker as it goes up. And here is my peachy orange and I tell you what, I'm enjoying what this style of taking and ironing the freezer paper on and then tucking under the top edge, leaving the bottom edge untucked because it gets tucked behind the next piece. But I'm kind of enjoying this. It's a lot of fun. And I was peeling glue off my fingers a little while ago because my hands are pretty sore from all the work I did on that quilt. And do you ever get it where the finger that pushes the needle gets a hole in it so the back of the needle keeps going right into the hand? Like, gosh. So, and don't forget too, this quilt pattern is free. So all you have to do is just send me an email at that email address and I will shoot you out a copy of it. And it's best if you join our group because I have quite a few pictures on our group site and I have them labeled as to what they give, where I got my inspiration. So here are the peachy oranges of the sunrise. And I've got this freezer paper ironed to the front. Sometimes it wants to get a little loose, so I'll bring the iron back over. Iron, come back on, good. I'll bring my iron back over and warm it back down, because I like the freezer paper to stay on there while, Polly going. Bye, sweet Polly. Oh, take care, Polly girl. All right. Now, so what I do, I forgot to reverse this. Okay? I forgot to reverse the pattern when I printed it on freezer paper. So what I have to do then is I come with a glue stick and I put a good swath of glue up where I'm going to fold it, and then I fold it right along the top of the freezer paper. Okay? And let me show you. So, see how I fold it right along top of this. Okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing to this one. Here we go. I try not to put too much glue because it will dry on you. And then it's like you never had to glue at all. You have to put it back on. All right, so I'm folding. See how I'm just with my fingers? Just with my fingers. Let me see if I can zoom in to show you. Whoop. Okay. All right. So I'm just taking and folding it. I put the glue here, and then I just take and fold it down so I can just see the freezer paper. Now, if I had reversed, when I printed it on freezer paper, if I had reversed it, then I could have folded it onto the freezer paper. It would have been a little bit easier. But this is not bad. So if you forget to reverse it, don't panic. It's not that bad. All right, so need more glue now. All right. So, you know, it's so funny. I put my heart and soul into that woodland waterfall. I ended up naming it Wooded Bliss. And I put my heart and soul to it. But then guess what? Now I'm ready to do this one. You know, it's like love the one you're working on at that moment. And I like to put an iron on this after I have tucked it under. But I love, love, love that nice edge. And see, with it folded over, you don't have a mess. Oh, thank you. Which, is it this bracelet or this one? Yeah, this one I got from Missouri Star Quilt Shop. And I love that. That's kind of my signature thing now. So, okay. So I know that this little piece, I can peel off this now because this is set. And once you've used them, take them and put them out of the way so you don't get confused. And where this is going to go, it's going, okay, this is going to go right. Well, I think I'm going to have to cut it a little more slender in a couple places because I'm not going to be able to tuck it too far. When some of your slices end up getting thinner and thinner, then just, you know, you have to shorten up the one that tucks behind it because there won't be the room. Because see, I don't glue this top edge until I know I have the next one right where it needs to be. So here we go. All right. And this comes up. Okay. The orange is the first layer. And let me pull this. This goes behind it. So let me, all right. I just folded it at the right angle, so I knew it would go behind it, but still have enough to actually go. Whoops. Let me bring this closer. So see how I just kind of cut it off so I know it will go behind it. I built this part of the actual sun at one point, you know, just one time, put them all together. Let me get that out of the way. And so I used white for the very centerest, the brightest part of the sunrise. And I used white and then a light bright yellow and then a medium yellow, and then I will do another color. But I want to show you too, sometimes you can put two pieces together and put the two pieces on at the same time. And so that's Whoops. Huh. Hold on. Okay, that is okay. So what I did is I built these two pieces together and then put them on. So now let's see. Whoops. Oh, what is this one doing? All right, so I can go ahead now and peel this paper off. And what I'm going to need to do is tuck this under. I haven't done it yet. I wanted to, I didn't have one that was just perfect, so I made a double piece. This is going to go right here, back here. And then it's going to get a little bit darker as we go another strip up. Now what I haven't, whoops, I've got this one too that needs to go here. All right. I still need to put, let me cut this piece at an angle so it can tuck in behind the sun. Okay, this is the first row right there. Okay, and I'm going to, I know that this first row is going to stay here. So what I do is I put some little dots of glue along the bottom, which allows me to still tuck other things into place. So here we go. All right. Now, same thing over here. All right, I'm going to take and put little bits of glue on the bottom, not the hemmed top, just the bottom. So that will hold in place right there. And when I think that this looks good, then I come and I fold this next hemmed row. I put the dots of glue and I try to put them right near that hemming. You notice this is the glue that really holds good. The glue stick helps me put things in place and do the hemming, but then the tacky glue makes sure it stays. Now, the one thing I haven't done yet, okay, here is my light blue. So I do need to hem because I don't want it messy looking. Whoops, let me real quickly put some glue on this end of the orange on the bottom only because I'll be tucking something near the top. So you have to go in order. And you can work from the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top. It's up to you. And then this, I didn't iron the top part of the hem because this is going to go under it. But before that does, okay, I'm going to quickly give this a little press because sometimes it will start to lose that hem that you put in. And the glue stick doesn't hold it forever. Okay, so now what I need to do is let me look at my pattern here. And it says peachy orange. So this is peachy orange. Here is the sun. Then I need a light yellow, very light yellow, light yellow. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing right now. I made this part of my sun a little bit bigger. See, it's just like a 1/4 of an inch bigger. I just wanted to. Now what I've got to look for is a light yellow and a very light yellow. Okay, this is for the top piece. All right, here we go. Very light yellow. I've already done the medium light yellow, which is this one. So I can go ahead and cut that off now because that's done. But this is kind of fun. Jody, I know what you mean when you say, you know, you kind of like having the pieces and doing it that way. Jody's has quite the influence on me. Okay, Now, this might be a really good light yellow because I've got, well, let me see. I don't like the way this is. I'll fix that. I could do that yellow. This is tricky. I even brought over a hand dyed to wonder, maybe where it says very light yellow. Let me cut a piece of this. I have to make sure, these are the little scraps that I don't think I did a very good job with of my hand dyes. I use them for landscape, let me tell you. Okay, so this will be the part that says very light yellow, very light yellow. Okay. All right. Oops, I need a longer piece. It almost looks green, but all right. What I'm going to do is, here's a pretty good area that doesn't have too many spots on it. I'm going to go ahead. Whoops. No, I want very light yellow. Okay. This part says light yellow, but honestly, let me move closer to the light. This part says right here, very light yellow, but I'm afraid to take it off because I'm afraid sometimes when the pieces are too small, it's easy to lose them. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to iron it where it says very light yellow. I'm just going to press it right in here. All right, now that it's pressed on there, what I'm going to do, I like to leave about a 1/2 inch below so that can be tucked under. And I like to leave a 1/4 of an inch above to do the hemming. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Let me turn off this top light and see. Okay, so see what I've done? And this way, I'll go ahead and tuck this piece on the color that I want. So now I'm going to take this hand dye and put it away. But let me tell you, hand dyes can really, really be wonderful because they can just match. All right, so now what I'm going to do is come over here to the light yellow. Let me see. I think I'm going to come on this part. I'm coming over here and I'm going to iron this end to that. So I'm going to have 2 different fabrics on this. Okay. So now I cut a 1/2 inch below the pattern piece and a 1/4 of an inch above it. And I'm going to cut this piece a 1/4 of an inch longer than I need it because one of these will get tucked under. And I think it's going to be the darker of the 2 yellows is going to be hemmed. So all I have to do is come in here, get my glue stick. Okay, get my glue stick, run it along the edge, tuck that hem in like that. Okay. Yep, and it's still, in fact, I need to tuck it under a little touch more. There we go. All right. So now I will cut the very light yellow off back and back of this one. Okay. So here I go. Now I'm going to bring the iron back over. So see how I joined those? And as long as you're tucked, you give it the same look. Good night, Betty, hon. So here we go. Now, so here we've got the piece that says light yellow and very light yellow. And I just take it and have my glue stick and run right along here. Now, if you have the Appliquick tools, which I do because our wonderful Nadine gave them to me. I could be using that and keeping my hands from getting so messy and sticky. But here I just tuck it down. Now let's say you have to make a sharp tuck and the fabric just doesn't want to stretch that much. Give it a couple little cuts in that allowance, in that tucked area. And that will then release the strain on the fabric. It will tuck down. Now, right here, where I have an overlap, see this overlap? I'm going to cut this hem off here. The reason I'm going to do that is so that I can get really good sticking. I'm going to just press this while I'm holding it. All right. I want to get this part to stick really good. And in fact, I think I'm going to trim off a little bit of this darker yellow. Trim off a little bit more of that seam allowance so it doesn't get in the way. All right. Then I will come in here. I'm going to put a little glue stick on this so it'll hold to the other piece. And then I'm going to do the glue stick along this edge. All right, so now I've glued those two together right there. And then I'm going to hem this by hand. Okay, now bring the iron over. Give it a good glue. Now, remember how I tell you that so that piece is ready to go. Light yellow. All right. I'm going to get my light yellow back here. And where do I want it? This is one of those, it's like a dimple fabric, but it's with little leaves. I've got to give it a good press. Now's the time to press it. All right. So this, I'm turning it so it kind of goes to the lighter part of this. The color changes a lot on this. So I'm going to put this right on right here. All right. So that's on. Now I'm going to cut it out again with a 1/2 inch extra on the bottom, because I'm tucking that behind the orange fabric, and then 1/4 inch on the sides and top so that I can make the hem. So I'm kind of showing you two different ways of doing kind of a collage style quilting. All right, then I'm just going to run the glue stick right along here. Whoops, whoops, whoops. All right, right along here. There we go. And now I'm going to hem this down. Yay. Hem this. There. Boy, that was easy. You know, after you do it for a few hours, you get really good at it. All right, so now what I need to do is I had to unpin this because I had it pinned too close to the top. So, okay, here we go. Get it into place here, which shows the sun. Then light yellow and, whoops, light yellow. This one goes very light yellow, like, This one goes here. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do then is get this glue and put a little along the bottom so I can hold it in place. All right, so now I'll peel this back here and go behind the sun and behind the peach. And peel this freezer paper off and put it out of the way. Now remember, we're just doing the blocking. So don't worry, it's not supposed to stick out quite that much. I may have to end up cutting some of the bottom. Let me trim off a little bit of this hem because we're getting up at the top where, you know, the pieces are rather thin. So, okay. So now let me put it back in here. Stick it behind here. It's supposed to come up behind the sun. So like that. All right. All right. So now, then, where's my other piece? Here is my other piece. Light. I'm still missing parts of my light yellow, so I will have to end up finding that. But I think this one's going to go right here. I can see where it fits. So if this one goes, let me put my sun back in place. So this one's going to go right here. I'm just going to lift it up, tuck it under right here. Check it. That's why I love having this golden threads, because it really holds onto it good. I can peel off this, make sure I've tucked it down, and then I can put a little glue under here. And this will hold this while I'm doing the rest. Okay, now I'm just going to put just a little glue here because I want to be able to hold this up and show it to you, but it's not ready to be glued down. So let me get a couple pins because we're ready to show you what we've gotten done today. Now, I told you about work being at an awkward stage. This is still an awkward stage because all I'm doing is color blocking. I'm putting rough cuts of fabric here. I see my other piece of pattern for light yellow. Here it is right here. So I still have another piece to go on there and then a little piece that says very light yellow. Then I have the final piece of my sky, which will show I'm going to get a piece of ombre that goes gradually darker. This is the part that's going to have my clouds in it. So I'm going to probably, make this just a touch wider. All right, let me get ready and show you. Remember, we don't have all of the yellows in place, but we're getting there. All right, hold on just a second. Okay. Whoops. All right. Here we go. Let's see. Whoops. Let me do something here. Okay. Here is our beach quilt to this point. So we're getting there. We are getting there. Now, certain things that look a little awkward is this green blue looks much bluer than the colors I previously put in. Don't worry. What we'll do is use thread painting and ink tints or any kind of coloration paint or whatever. We'll use something to bridge this color difference, okay? So we're just blocking in the color by the pattern, okay? So that's what we've got to this point. By next week, I will have the rest, the final little bit of color blocking done. And then we're going to start working on how, oh, no, you know what I need to do next week? I just realized I need to put the fencing in, the dune fencing, sand fencing. So maybe I'll have that done before I get there, or maybe we'll do that. And then what we're going to do next is We might start ink tints first and then work on thread painting. We'll see. We've got to figure out which way to do that. But I think for now, we've made pretty good progress. I'm hoping that you get a chance to see. Just start a bit at a time. And these I will lighten up with some thread painting and ink tints. They are supposed to be part of the wave structure. And I've only put the color in for the wave structure. Don't forget, we're going to experiment with lace and cheesecloth and threads. So we have a lot of fun left to do. And you block in color, you use thread painting and ink tints to bring it to life. Okay? But we take it as far as we can take it with the fabric. Every stage, we try to get it as close to what we want. And then we go to the next stage and we bring it as close as we can. And then by the time you're at the final stage, you've got a woodland waterfall. So it's just taking it slowly, step by step. And you can't be in a hurry. You can't rush it. I mean, nature has taken millions of years, so we can take a few weeks. So anyway, any questions? Oops, now why did I bring up that? Hold on just a second. I'm not used to this. How do I get this off? I can't see the chat. Well, let me see. I'm going to figure. Oh, I figured it out. Do you work from the bottom up? You really technically are supposed to work from the top down. It just depends. The woodland, I think I started the woodland from the bottom up. Do remember, I'm left-handed, so I'm a little backwards. But honestly, my brain thinks differently. I would love to read a book from the back to the front. It just feels natural to me. But when I took a class, she liked people to work from the top down. And just depends. If I didn't want to constantly be resting my hands on it, I would definitely work from the top to the bottom. And often, if I do work from the bottom, what I will do is I will fold it up like this, pull it down, and work up here. And that just saves wear and tear and chance of messing up that while you're working on it. Hold on. Okay. So anyway, any other questions? Yeah, that was a very, very good question, Miss Denise. I loved it. And I have taken a couple classes, but just a couple. And I'm mostly a self-taught seamstress and quilter. I just see something and I want to do it. And I think sometimes we can look at things. If you're self-taught, you have had to figure it out yourself. You might miss some good techniques here and there, but you are scrappy enough to figure it out. And it was like when I did the woodland waterfall at first, I thought, I don't know how to make those rocks look like they're underwater. Well, I just kept messing with them until I did. So that's why if I can do it, you can do it. Because I just work and work and work until I figure it out. And then I share it with y'all. I try to always work a little bit ahead of y'all. So it's like, if I get into trouble, I go, okay, we're going to rethink this. But just remember, this is just fabric. And it's all together. It's just a couple dollars worth of fabric. And Mark says, but it's your time. And I'm like, well, I can donate my time to whatever project I want. So just enjoy it. Just have fun. Remember what it was like to be a kindergartner and have new construction paper and a new thing of glue and new sharp scissors. You remember that excitement to help guide you through the process. Anything that you don't like can be pulled back off and redone. No fret. This is the one place you can play. There's nothing that you're going to mess up. Okay? So, any other questions? Eh. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, it is so good to see all of you. Thank you for coming and joining us. Yeah, Diana from Diana's Sewing Adventures, she's self-taught too. And I think sometimes we have an advantage. Mark said he's a planner and he has to study and plan. He said, you jump in and figure out how to swim. That's exactly, it's my nature. It's who I am. And because I'm self-taught, I don't have rules in my head saying, well, you should do this or you should do that. It's probably why I'm not a good traditional quilter piecer, because I don't like following rules. But we will get there. Don't get discouraged. Like I say, it's going to go through an awkward stage where you're like, that's a beach, and stick with it. Each layer brings you closer to that special wow. Okay? All right, guys. It was so good to see you. We are going to, I forgot. Since it's going to rain here, I might not be going anywhere on Easter Day, but we also talked about doing it Monday. I will take a poll on our site. And because I wanted to do something for Easter, whether it's go to a movie or go on a picnic. Well, the picnic looks like it's going to be rained out. We might not be able to. But if that's the case, then I'll do a show Monday afternoon. People said, do it later. I said, okay. So we're either going to do it Easter Day, but most likely count on it Monday at 5 p.m. Okay, guys? All right, and that's when we're gonna start really putting some work in on this Zen elephant and our block of the week. I have got to get you. I owe you 2 patterns. I will get those done. I thought I would have gotten that quilt mailed off days ago, not just this morning. But I'll get you the patterns that you're owed, and we'll work on our Zen elephant. Okay? You are the best. You make me so happy. Thank you for spending this time with me. Oh, Miss Mary. I love Miss Mary. You all make me so happy. You each have a little place. If my heart had little compartments, you each have a special little compartment in my heart. Thank you. Thank you for spending your time with me. Meltem, if you say happy Ramadan, then I wish you a very happy Ramadan, Passover, Easter, or just a pagan spring, whatever makes you happy. So take good care, everyone. You are the best. Okay? See you soon. See you Sunday or Monday. Bye-bye, everybody. Mwah. Y'all are the best.